1. The turning world. The city never sleeps. Not because it is restless, but because it is alive. Arteries of neon pulsing under rain-slick streets, subway breaths rising like ghosts, windowed towers blinking like the eyes of some patient animal that has seen 1,000 dawns. In this city, clocks do not tick, they hiss. Headlines do not tell stories, they chase them. And somewhere between coffee that goes cold and deadlines that drift closer like tides, a question surfaces, quiet but unyielding. Where is the place that doesn't move? You can feel it, can't you? Even now, beneath the static of your phone, beneath the storm in your chest, beneath the hum of plans, inside plans, there is a gravity that calls you inward. A tap on glass, a lantern behind fog. Not a command, not a threat, an invitation. Tonight, the rain falls the way it always falls in stories, as if the sky is trying to write something legible on the pavement. You step out anyway. You walk because walking is how the mind remembers it has a body. The air smells like cedar and asphalt, lightning and arrival. Somewhere a siren wails, then fades. Somewhere laughter bursts out of a bar and becomes steam in the cool, then is gone. Your jacket's shoulders are jeweled with droplets until you stop noticing them. You pass a storefront with a security gate rolled down and a single strip of light pooling around a doorway like spilled milk. You pass a mural of a woman whose eyes follow you with mercy. You pass your own reflection in a puddle, warped into comic book panels, your face fragmented by ripples, your posture outlined by rain. And it's then you realize the world will never stop turning for you. It will not slow to your favorite tempo or wait for you to catch your breath. But you can meet it on different terms. Find the place within you that holds still, and the world can rush like a river around a rock without carrying you away. Find it, and the storm becomes choreography. The sirens become a score. The city becomes a cathedral without walls. So you keep walking, because the question has widened into a path, and the path is asking for your feet. 2. The first breath. We think we are alive because we move, because we add one more item, send one more email, inhale one more piece of news. But life, real life, begins with subtraction. It begins with what you let go of long enough to notice what remains. Stop. That word is not a break slammed in panic. It is a doorway. Step through it. Feel the soles of your feet arrive. Let your shoulders loosen a notch you didn't know you could release. Unhook the jaw, the thought, the ritual clench. Now, give yourself a single breath that belongs to no one but you. Inhale, not by force, but by consent. Let the breath find you, like an old friend recognizing your profile in a crowd. Fill, not the entire chest, not the entire story, just enough to understand that you are here. Exhale, as if setting a glass down on a table in a quiet room. The city continues its percussion outside, but in this few seconds, you are a listener, not a drummer. American life is a high wire, ambition in one hand, fear of failure in the other. We cross it by rehearsing wounds and bargaining for outcome. But here, at the first breath, there is no audience to impress, no algorithm to appease, no scoreboard to check. The wire is a fiction. The ground has been waiting under your feet the entire time. Breathe again. Notice you haven't fallen. Notice the simplicity of survival. Notice how the rain approximates applause when it hits awnings and fire escapes. Notice how the traffic lights keep time like a metronome patient with the song you're trying to remember. This is not escape. This is not checking out. This is checking in. There is a strength the loud never find. There is a courage the hurried never meet. And it begins, not in a speech or a spectacle, but in this very ordinary, very sacred inhale-exhale. Consider it a homecoming. Consider it the small hinge on which a heavy door will swing. 3. Gravity, and grace, NHU. If you throw a stone, gravity will teach it how to fall. If you throw a prayer, grace will teach it how to land. Most days we trust gravity completely and doubt grace entirely. But grace is the other law of the universe. It waits below each misstep with the kindness of a net. It waits within each mistake with the patience of a teacher who never writes you off. You remember the last time you felt the floor drop, a phone call that changed a room's oxygen, an email with a sentence that took your breath, a goodbye staged at a gate when the gate wasn't the problem. You survived it, but your body kept the page like a dog-eared corner. Here be dragons. So you ran faster. You learned new tricks, new optimizations of self, caffeinate, compartmentalize, conquer. And for a while, it even worked. But then comes a night like this, and the city itself whispers a revision. The rain drafts an edit in the margins. The wind crosses out the line that says, you are what you achieve. And something looser, braver, more human takes its place. You are the one who keeps showing up with your heart intact. Grace is not opposed to grit. It is the soul of it. Grace helps you stand without hardening. It teaches you to hold power without losing tenderness, to carry responsibility without sacrificing wonder. Grace is a strong spine that bows when necessary, then rises again, unbroken. You pause under an overpass, the kind that becomes a cavern in the right weather. Water chants from the edge in a sheet. Cars roar overhead in percussion. In the shimmering dark, you see graffiti, names layered over names, odes left by kids who needed a wall to speak for them. You place a palm on the cool concrete and let the city's pulse become your own. Here is a truth. You do not have to fight the current when you can find the still point beneath it. Here is another. Grace doesn't erase your scars. It translates them. It turns them from verdicts into verses. It makes them legible, even beautiful, to someone who needs proof that healing is possible. Unlike gravity, grace is optional. But tonight, you choose it. And in choosing it, you discover how light can be heavier than any armor and still not crush you. For a quiet physics of time, we've been told, is money. Time, the hustlers say, is a ladder. Time, the philosophers admit, is a mystery. But for you tonight, time becomes a room that you can step into and rearrange. Consider how comics teach us to read time, panel by panel, frame by frame, each box holding a sliver of motion, each gutter, the space between, holding everything that cannot be drawn. The magic is not only in the panels, it's in the interval, in the silence that implies movement. Life is like that. The still point is the gutter where the most important story happens. You slide into a late-night diner that looks like every late-night diner American movies have ever loved. A bell that tings when the door opens, red vinyl booths, a counter where the coffee believes in second chances. The waitress calls you horn because that is the language of this temple. You order nothing special and get everything you need. Heat, light, and proof that gentleness can travel in a mug. Outside, traffic smears light into ribbons. Inside, a clock with a missing battery hands you a paradox. Time isn't moving in here, and yet everything is happening. Conversations, quiet grief, laughter, the bolt of solitude shot through a noisy room. You sip, and awareness widens until it touches the edges of the booth and the window and the rain beyond. It keeps expanding. To the cook's tired shoulders and the cab driver's next passenger and a violinist warming fingers under a theater's marquee down the block. Time is a web of attention. Where you place, it shapes what your life becomes. The still point doesn't stop time. It changes your contract with it. You decide no more paying interest on the past. No more borrowing dread from the future. Pay in presence. Invest in presence. Let presence multiply like a rumor of good news. When you leave, The bell tings again. The rain has softened into mist. You step back into the sequence of panels, frame by frame. But now, the gutters glow. Five, the mirror and the mask. In a comic, the mask both hides and reveals. Batman's cowl conceals Bruce's features but discloses his vow. Spider-Man's fabric keeps Peter safe and announces his calling. The mask isn't a lie. When worn rightly, it is a promise. It says, "Here is the part of me committed to something larger than me." What mask have you worn so long it became your face? What identity have you held so tight it bruised your palms? The good child, the fixer, the one who never needs anything, the high performer, the happy one, the interesting one, the one who always knows. Step beneath an awning into the ghostlit quiet of a closed storefront. Glass, dark as obsidian, throws back your outline with rain like stars sprinkled across it. You search your reflection for the mask and find it where it always hides, in the corners of your mouth when you smile mechanically, in the tilt of your head when you perform listening, in the posture that says, "I am fine, please keep walking." At the still point, you are granted a simple mercy, the right to take off what tired you. Not forever, not with drama, just long enough to feel the air on your true skin. You unclasp the practiced smirk. You unbutton the borrowed confidence. You lay down the sword you've kept sharp with every self-critique. Under it all, a face you once knew looks up at you and does not accuse you of the years you left them waiting. It's hard not to cry when the reunion is honest. It's hard not to laugh when you realize the person you've been searching for never left the room. You raise your hand and place it against the glass, and your reflection meets you palm to palm. Not as an adversary to be conquered, not as a stranger to perform for, as an ally, as a witness, as the only person guaranteed to walk with you from the first page to the last. Outside, someone's umbrella turns inside out. The wind laughs and then softens. You whisper, "I'm with you," and both your voices answer, "I know." 6. The storm teaches. The storm is not your enemy. It is the curriculum. It has always been the curriculum. Lightning stencils white fire across the low clouds. Somewhere, thunder rolls like a drum line under a homecoming parade delayed by weather. The street glitters with 1,000 mirrors, each one a fraction of the sky. You step into the rain not as defiance, not as proof of toughness, but as a vow. I will learn from what arrives. What does the storm teach? That fragility and strength are siblings. That surrender and insistence are both tools. That you can bow to reality without abandoning hope. The storm speaks a fluent American. It says, "You will not outshout me." It says, "You cannot schedule me." But it also says, "Bring your courage. I'll meet you in the middle." You think of the times you tried to outpace the weather, metaphorical and otherwise, only to discover exhaustion is a poor umbrella. You think of the leaders you admire, the ones who did not confuse volume with clarity, who understood the difference between heat and light. The storm they faced did not make them saints, it made them specific. It forced complexities to reveal themselves, lies to unmask, essentials to declare, "Choose me." At the still point, the lesson clarifies. Attention is armor that doesn't look like armor. It doesn't clang. It doesn't intimidate. It doesn't spark when struck, but it holds. It holds when opinions swing like doors in a hurricane. It holds when plans collapse like scaffolding. It holds when loneliness invents stories to prove itself right. Attention holds because attention loves, and love is the only shield that grows stronger with every blow it takes. You lift your chin into the rain. A softness opens between your ribs. The city, soaked and silvered, looks almost mythic, like a panel from a comic where the hero has decided not to fight the storm, but to listen to it. And in listening, to learn its rhythm. 7. The center that doesn't move. You find a small park, a triangle of green caught between avenues like a leaf pressed between the pages of a book, and step onto the gravel path. The lamps halo mist. The benches host stories. You sit and let the night come to you. There is a center to you. It is not an idea. It is not a doctrine. It is not a tagline for a trending wellness. It is a place. You cannot see it, but you can stand there. You cannot purchase it, but you can practice it. It does not protect you from pain. It makes you capable of meeting pain without fracturing into 1,000 unkind versions of yourself. Call this center what you like. Some call it soul. Some call it the observer. Some call it presence with a capital P. Names are costumes. Reality is the body underneath. When you inhabit it, you feel a simple solidity, like a lighthouse that does not argue with the sea. It just shines. From this place, choices clarify. Not because the options decrease, but because the noise around them turns down. You realize how much of your life has been lived in reflex, opinions borrowed, urgencies inherited, preferences drafted by the crowd. The still point doesn't despise any of that. It simply returns you to a first-person pronoun. I becomes a location, not a weapon. A home base, not a banner. A vow, not a brand. You breathe here for a while. The night breathes with you. The city's lungs expand and contract. The hum of a bus, the hush of a crosswalk counting down, the shared yawn of an apartment building deciding to sleep. Your body softens the way a clenched fist unlearns its tension and discovers it's a hand again. If someone were to ask you for advice right now, the real kind, the life kind, you would say this: make your decisions from where you are loved. If you can't feel it, pause until you can. This is the paradox. At the still point, you do not feel smaller than the world. You feel exactly your size in it, and that is a relief beyond language. 8. The choice that makes other choices easier. We wait for clarity like weather, assuming it will blow in with a front of certainty and drench us in confirmation. But clarity is something you grant yourself when you accept what you already know. You stand, not to leave the still point, but to bring it with you. You decide one thing, just one, that makes other decisions easier. Not a resolution you will grind your teeth to uphold. A direction your heart can walk without limping. Maybe it's this: I will not measure my worth by my productivity. Or this: I will no longer rehearse arguments that never happened. Or this: I will treat my body like an ally, not an obstacle. Or this: I will tell the truth kindly and let it stand without a sales pitch. Maybe it is none of these. Maybe it is quieter and more precise. A phone number deleted, a bedtime protected, a Sabbath honored, a boundary drawn without apology or performance. Make the choice out loud. Let your voice hear you believe yourself. The air receives your promise and does not flinch. Somewhere, a stranger is making a different vow at the same moment, and the city records you both in the ledger of courage. When heroes in comics make choices, artists draw the panel with a deliberate weight. Ink disciplined, lines spare, light focused. Why? Because the moment is not about spectacle, it's about essence. The reader needs to feel that what happens next will flow from what happened now. Your life is like that spread. You have turned the page. The next panels will not be random. You walk again, and the ground, faithful as ever, keeps its side of the deal. You pass people moving fast, but you no longer mistake speed for destiny. You pass advertisements promising reinventions, but you no longer mistake novelty for transformation. You pass a mirror of glass and see the same face, yes, but the eyes belong to someone who remembered something crucial on a rainy night and will not forget in the sun. Wandum. The return without losing the center. Every story we love eventually returns the hero to the world they knew. Changed, yes, but still needing to do dishes, answer emails, show up, be honest, make amends, begin again. The still point is not a retreat from that world. It is the skill that lets you walk it without becoming a stranger to yourself. You shoulder the door to your building. The stairwell smells like paint and history. Your keys jingle with the intimacy of a habit that has survived your moods. Inside, the quiet is almost physical. You turn on a lamp and learn the room again. A stack of books that promise to make you fluent in your better self. A plant that forgave your neglect and reached for the window anyway. A jacket draped over a chair like a guest who fell asleep during the movie. Normally you would reach for the phone. Tonight you let it rest where it is. Like a child finally tired enough to nap. You light a candle. Not because candles are a lifestyle, but because fire tames a room's arrogance. You write a single paragraph on a page. What you noticed tonight. What you know now. What you choose. Not a manifesto, a marker. Something your morning mind can meet without suspicion and say, yes, that was me. When you shower, the water wears the rain's accent. When you eat, the food tastes like a promise kept. When you lay in the dark, the city's distant sounds float through the window screen like a lullaby made from traffic and a neighbor's laugh and the thin, civilized growl of an elevator returning someone to the right floor. You feel the still point like a coin warmed in the palm, small, dense, reassuring. Tomorrow will not flatter you. It will ask hard questions. It will set traps baited with your old hunger. It will build mazes from your cleverness. But you are not who you were before the rain began, and while the difference might be invisible from the sidewalk, it will be visible from the inside, in the way you pause, in the way you listen, in the way you refuse the bait, in the way you give your strength without selling your peace. You sleep like a lighthouse does, never fully dark, always ready to shine if the weather turns. The still point, a vow. Morning finds the city rinsed and bright. The storm has taken what it wanted and left what matters. Sunlight breaks through a cloud bank like a promise remembering itself. On the sidewalk, a child leaps over the shadows of a fence practicing flight. A man waters a square of dirt where he imagines a garden will be. Someone quits a job. Someone says yes. Someone says not yet. The city turns. The world turns. You stand at your window and feel the turning without dizziness. You will forget. Of course you will. You are human. The still point is not a trophy you win once. It is a practice you renew in the small, non-glamorous theater of today. The vow is not to stay forever calm. It is to return. Again and again and again to return. Return when the email arrives with its little grenade of tone. Return when the news hooks your outrage and tries to tow you into riptides. Return when perfectionism writes its tight script for your day. Return when the old story, "You are not enough unless," takes the mic and rehearses its monologue. Return when you succeed spectacularly and the applause confuses your compass. Return when you fail honestly and the silence frightens you with how it sounds like peace. Breathe. Step onto the ground that is always there. Place your hand on your chest and remember that a rhythm has held you through nights you were sure would break you. Let gratitude be the grammar of your first thought. Let attention be the language you speak to the world. Let gentleness be the way your strength shows up in rooms not built to welcome it. Then walk out your door. Not as a monk fleeing the world and not as a conqueror demanding it kneel. Walk as one who knows how to center a storm without hating the weather. Walk as one who can hold power without closing their fist. Walk as one who can be ambitious without being owned by the ambition. Walk as one who has learned a quiet American art, the discipline of a steady heart. At a crosswalk, you watch strangers become neighbors for 15 seconds. Someone holds the door. Someone catches a bag that slips. Someone laughs without irony. The light changes, you all go. And for an instant, the city feels choreographed. The dance isn't something you perform to win. It's the ordinary, holy motion of people moving with awareness inside a turning world. Keep the vow to choose presence over panic, to practice attention as armor that does not bruise, to tell the truth kindly and let it stand, to measure your days by what you gave, not what you hoarded, to end what exhausts your soul, even when it pays, to begin what keeps you human, even when it scares you, to let your scars speak mercy in a language someone else can understand, to return and return and return until returning is your way of being. When night comes again, as it always does, you'll hear rain somewhere, even if the sky is clear. You'll feel it. The remembered percussion across tin roofs and awnings, the soft roar under bridges, the hush that follows. You'll smile, because the music makes sense now. And if you need one more sentence to carry, let it be this. At the still point of the turning world, you do not escape the dance. You learn how to lead with your heart and how to follow what is true.